all, and thank you for coming out to tonight's meeting of the Peoria Planning and Zoning Commission. We're going to take roll call. Commissioner Golden?
Present.
Commissioner Spriker?
Present.
Commissioner Loper?
Present.
Commissioner Hutchinson is absent tonight. Commissioner Bill Lewis is absent. Commissioner Jay Otlowski?
Present.
Commissioner Jeff Nelson?
Present.
And I am Commissioner Lee Strickman. This commission is composed of Peoria citizens who have been appointed by the City Council to serve on the commission as a civic responsibility without compensation. Our duty is to study and review planning and zoning issues within the City of Peoria and then forward our recommendations to the City Council. All hearings are conducted in accordance with the rules of procedure and Robert's Rules of Order. Each case will be called in the order in which it appears on the agenda unless otherwise announced during the meeting. In the interest of maintaining a fair and efficient hearing, the Commission adheres to the following steps. Chairperson calls the case, staff gives a brief report and recommendation, applicant gives a presentation, opposition and support gives testimony, generally limited to 3 minutes per speaker, applicant may give a rebuttal, and Commission discussion and decision. Anyone wishing to speak must complete a speaker's request form and hand it to the planning assistant on my left. Please be as brief as possible and do not repeat statements already made by others. Anyone wishing to protest the decision of a commission public hearing item must request a second public hearing before the City Council. The request must be submitted in writing to the Planning and Zoning Development Department within 10 days after the Commission's hearing. All Commission recommendations on public hearing items move forward to a regular City Council meeting. The City Council will then act on the recommendation of the Commission. They may concur with the decision, modify it, or overturn it. We welcome citizens' comments, and as fellow citizens of Peoria, we thank you in advance for your participation. This is the final call to submit speaker request forms. If anyone wishes to speak, please fill out a speaker request form and provide it to the staff seated to my left at the end of the dais. The first item on the agenda is the consent agenda, and it's routine in nature and consists of 2 items tonight. 1C is disposition of absence, discussion and possible action to excuse the absence of alternate member Jay Otlowski at the October 15th, 2015 meeting. 2C, discussion and possible action to approve the minutes of the Planning and Zoning Commission held on October 15th, 2015. Do any commissioners have any questions or comments? Okay. Do I have a motion? Commissioner Loper.
Madam Chair, I would move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Nelson. Please vote. Okay, and that passes. Thank you. We now move on to new business. The first agenda item is 3R, which is a public hearing regarding a conditional use permit for the RV Complete CU 15-0016. We have been asked to move this to the next public meeting. Do I have a motion? Commissioner Loper?
Madam Chair, I would move that we continue this to the next regularly scheduled meeting.
Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Nelson. Please vote. And that passes. The next item is 4R, public hearing regarding conditional use permit, the Aquafria Senior Living CU 15-0014. Staff, please present your report.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Commissioners. My name is Aaron Frank, Senior Planner, presenting to you a request for conditional use permit 15-0014, Aquafria Senior Living. Brief overview of the project. The site is approximately 5.35 acres located to south of the southwest corner of the intersection of Olive and 107th Avenue. This property is zoned C2 intermediate commercial, and the request for a senior living facility, or as referred to in the zoning ordinance as a nursing or convalescent home, requires a conditional use permit. The proposed development includes a centralized building that is going to be 2 stories tall, containing 90 units. You could also use the term 90 beds. Beds and units are interchangeable, and there will be 1 person per bed. It's going to be 90 individuals. The access is provided from 107th Avenue. As you see, there's a circular driveway providing emergency access to all areas around the building. Parking is located in the front, and there's an interior courtyard providing recreational space for both memory care and the assisted living residents. That recreational space is partitioned, as you can see in the center of that interior courtyard. The building also is going to contain several interior amenities, such as a salon, medical examination area, kitchen, dining area to serve the residents. For context surrounding the site, to the south and to the west are multifamily residential uses with the Horizon Villas condominiums to the south and the Peoria Villas apartments to the west. To the southeast exists the Country Meadows neighborhood. To the northeast is a shopping center containing a Safeway, and immediately adjacent to the north are a few vacant commercially zoned properties, and then CVS on that southwest corner of 107th Avenue and Olive Avenue, adjacent to a car wash and McDonald's. To the north is Sun City. The property is vacant and has never been previously developed. The general plan designates this area for medium-density residential, which allows small lot or attached single-family and multifamily residences. This slide provides building elevations of the proposed development. The top elevation is the front view from 107th Avenue perspective. As you can see, that's the porte cochere in the front that allows for visitors to have drop-offs and convenient access. The application was noticed in accordance with city regulations. Throughout the project lifetime, city staff received 1 phone call, which was supportive of the project. Sorry. Here we go. Staff finds that the request is consistent with the city zoning ordinance and compatible with the uses in the surrounding area. The use in conjunction with the conditions of approval will operate in a manner that will not negatively impact the adjoining uses. And the applicant owner has submitted and signed and notarized a Proposition 207 waiver, which will be recorded with the conditions in staff report. Staff recommends to approve case CU 15-0014, subject to the conditions of approval as stated in the staff report. And I welcome any questions or comments you may have about this application. Thank you.
Thank you. Do any of the commissioners have any questions? Commissioner Nelson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a quick question. So in a use of this type where we have Alzheimer's, dementia patients, the risk of folks wandering off, would we have the police department evaluate the layout, the security measures that are in place? Did they have a chance to weigh in, or would that not be something we would typically do in this kind of situation?
Commissioner Nelson, thank you for the comment. I'm going to scroll to a previous slide with the site design and layout. Throughout the development review process that we have, we do encourage and we do receive comments from fire department and police department. In this case, they are satisfied with this development, and the courtyard where the recreational activity is going to occur, that is located in an entirely enclosed area to provide those security measures.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Commissioner Golden.
The apartments that are on the west side of this development, are they 2-story or 1-story? Do you know?
Yes, this is going to be a 2-story building. As you can see in the lower elevation on the screen, it does tier lower towards the west of the property.
So say that again.
The building does tier from 2 stories on the east towards 1 story in the rear on the west.
Okay, and I'm asking about the apartments behind
Oh,
the
I'm sorry.
development.
I
That's
apologize. I
fine.
misunderstood your question. Yes, I believe those are actually 3-story apartments.
Okay, so it will look consistent.
That's correct.
Okay, fine, thank you.
Okay, do any other commissioners have any questions of staff? I have opened the public hearing. Is the applicant present?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like to speak? Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Jeff Williams. My address is 646 West Jasper Drive in Gilbert, Arizona. And I'm the civil engineer on the site representing the owner. The owner's here, Doug Hamilton. And we're happy and thrilled to be in Peoria. We think it's a wonderful project. It's, as you've seen the elevations there, it's a very attractive building. I personally just put my mother into a care facility out in the Mesa area, and so have a real appreciation for this type of facility, for the care that they can give. And in all the years that we've been doing this, I think it's a good fit for the neighborhood, a great fit for the community, and we appreciate your support. And we'll be happy to answer any questions.
Are you in agreement with staff recommendations?
Yes, ma'am, we are.
Okay. Do any of the commissioners have any questions of the applicant? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no more comments, I am now closing the public hearing. Any comments from the commissioners before we vote? Do I have a motion? Commissioner Loper.
Madam Chair, one quick thing. This is way down on the list of priorities, but a use like this, it seems like it's less intensive than the uses that could otherwise be allowed in the zoning district, multifamily or commercial. It seems like a CUP, maybe in this day and age, as we see more and more of these facilities around the valley. I too am facing something like you are with your mom. These make for great infill developments. I'd like to see them be more of a use by right and maybe even drop the arterial. I mean, yeah, you need medical access to it, and that's one of the main reasons for having the arterial, but I'd like to see it opened up better rather than have them go through a kind of a discretionary thing. But with that said, I would move for approval of I just lost it. CU, did I get the right one? Yeah, CU 15-0014, subject to the stipulations outlined in the staff report.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Commissioner Nelson.
Madam Chair, I second that motion.
Thank you. Please vote. Okay, and that passes. Okay, the next agenda item is 5R, public hearing regarding the rezone of Lake Pleasant Town Center, Z03-04A5. Staff, please present your report.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the Commission. The case you have before you tonight is actually for a rather small strip of unannexed area at this point in time that we are requesting the Commission evaluate to rezone to incorporate the same zoning district as is held by the rest of the parcel. The area in question is approximately 1,646 square feet and would then become a part of the larger Lake Pleasant Town Center to the east. As you can see here, the general plan map designates this entire parcel as community commercial along with the rest of Lake Pleasant Town Center, Lake Pleasant Pavilions, and then the developments to the east of Lake Pleasant Parkway. For a little bit of context on the overall parcel, to the south you have Happy Valley Parkway and subsequently county area. To the north, you have the Florenza development. To the west, Tierra del Rio. And again, to the east, the remainder of Lake Pleasant Town Center. As I mentioned, the land use designation is community commercial for the overall parcel, and the remainder of the parcel is already a part of Lake Pleasant Town Center. The reasoning behind this request is in 2007, the area that you see identified there as formerly right-of-way was annexed into the city for the purposes of right-of-way. For whatever reason, at that time, the 20-foot strip that's the subject of this case was not incorporated as a part of that annexation. In 2008, the area to the north, basically the remainder of the overall parcel, was annexed into the city. Subsequently, in 2009, the overall parcel was zoned as a part of Lake Pleasant Town Center. And in 2011, the area that you see identified as formerly right-of-way was sold and deeded back to the adjacent property owner. As a result of these actions, this 20-foot strip was never actually incorporated into the city. So what we're looking to do tonight is correct that item. As you see across Happy Valley, you have a county strip that continues south. Our engineering department is currently working on an effort to annex that into the city. However, because this 20-foot strip on the parcel in question was on private property, it had to come through this process rather than going through the engineering department. The annexation of this area is moving forward to the December 15th City Council meeting. Depending on the Commission's recommendation tonight, this case would move forward subsequent to the annexation on the December 15th Council agenda. You can see here the proposed site plan that's currently in process for the site and the identification of the area in question that's to be rezoned. It will be occupied by landscaping as a part of the site plan requirements. As for our findings, the zoning district is in conformance with the goals and objectives set forth in the City of Peoria General Plan. The rezoning request is consistent with the general plan, which allows commercial zoning districts ranging from PC2 to C4 or PADs incorporating such commercial uses. This rezoning request will result in a continuance of the commercial development that already exists on the overall parcel and the adjacent parcels to the east. As a result, staff recommends approval of case Z03-04A.5 to the City Council subject to the conditions as stated in the staff report. And with that, I'll take any questions you might have.
Thank you. Do any commissioners have any questions of staff? Okay. Is the applicant present? I guess not. Okay. I still have to open the public hearing. I have now opened the public hearing. Okay. Oh, sorry, I left my place. Anybody want to speak? I guess I get to close the public hearing, huh? Okay. I have now closed the public hearing. Any comments from the commissioners? Okay. Do I have a motion? Commissioner Nelson.
Madam Chair, it would be my honor to recommend approval. Recommend to the City Council approval of case Z03-04A.5, subject to the following conditions of approval, as stated in the report. I really messed up that motion, but shall I repeat it?
Are we good?
Let me take another shot at it. I think I can do better.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I'd like to recommend to the City Council approval of case number Z03-04A.5, subject to the conditions as stated in the staff report.
Do I have a second? Commissioner Spriker.
So seconded.
Thank you. Please vote. Okay, and that has passed. Are there any comments from the public on non-agenda items? Okay. Seeing there are no comments on non-agenda items, we're going to move to reports from staff.
Madam Chair, members of the Commission, so what you see on the screen is our next Commission meeting, December 3rd. We'll have a regular meeting. We will be canceling the meeting for December 17th due to the holidays. But tonight I would like to make a special announcement. You've probably noticed over the last few months, we've introduced new planners to you. We are now fully staffed, particularly with the latest addition. So on my right, for some of you, he's probably familiar to you, Adam Pruitt. For others, I'd like to introduce you to him. He's been with the city for, 10 years? This will be his third tour due with the planning department. We're happy to have him back, but he's going to be our new planning manager. So we're very pleased to have Adam back with our department and joining our team. So congratulations to Adam. And then lastly, I just wanted to wish everyone a safe and happy Thanksgiving holiday next week. And that's all I have.
Go Devils.
And go Devils, of course. Right, Cody?
I'm not going to second that.
Any reports from Planning and Zoning Commissioners? Commissioner Nelson.
I just wanted to extend my appreciation, Chris. I don't know if you did it or a member of your team, but I drove by the Quick Stop gas station across from Rio Vista Park, and guess what? There's a fence around the site. So I appreciate that. It looks great, and it's fully enclosed and secured now. So hopefully no more for graffiti. But thanks for your efforts if you made that happen. Thank you.
Okay, any other commissioners have any comments right now? Okay, well, I would like to make one. I had the privilege today of going to the ribbon cutting at the Kiwanis Park. That was a joint effort with the city of Peoria, and it was wonderful. I highly recommend that you take kids, grandkids, whatever, over to that park. The equipment in there is just phenomenal, and I applaud the city and everybody that was involved in it, the city and Kiwanis. Okay. Seeing no further business, I will call this meeting adjourned. Thank you.